Hey guys, it's CK at CK Education, and today I want to share a story with you about one of my students named Marilyn. Now, Marilyn was a very, very talented art student. And for those of you who are art students out there, you know that you have to prepare a portfolio, an art portfolio, to apply to an art school. You also probably know that most art schools have a much lower they put a much lower emphasis on SAT scores. So you can really get in if you're a great artist with pretty low SAT scores. Now, there is one school that is really an exception to that, and there may be others, but there's one, and that's the Rhode Island School of Design, RISD as they call it in New Hampshire. The Rhode Island School of Design, one of my favorite art schools in the country. This school has a much higher SAT threshold and a much higher SAT average for incoming freshmen. Now, you have to be a great artist, of course, but you also have to have great academic grades and scores as well. Now, Marilyn was one of those students. She not only was a great artist, she was a great student. She had a great GPA, and she really got her SAT score up there. So she really stood out as an art student. So she ended up actually going to the RISD, Rhode Island School of Design. But let me tell you a little bit about her numbers here. So when she started out, her reading and writing score was 620, and her math score was 630 for a total of 1250. It's not bad, okay? And probably with that score, she could have applied to a lot of art schools and gotten in. But she wanted to apply to and wanted to go to RISD. So again, 620 reading and writing, math 630, total of 1250. So she ended up getting on her first shot on a real test in reading and writing. She got 740, that's a 120 point increase. And then in math, she got a 700, which was a 70 point increase. So her total score was a 1440. That's a 190 point increase from a 1250. So she did really well. 1440 for an art student. I'm not, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying art students are low performing people. They're just, they spend so much time in art and creating their portfolios. I think they don't have the time that other students have to put into SAT studies and so forth. And again, Marilyn didn't have a lot of time either. She had a total of 26 classes with me, which really isn't that much, which is only 39 hours of class time. And she got a 1440, 190 point increase. So she did really well. I was very proud of her. She was awesome. And so for you art students out there, or prospective art students, or aspiring art students, yes, it's true that a lot of art institutes, a lot of art schools around the country don't emphasize SAT scores and GPA as much as the art portfolio itself. But in some schools like this, you have to have both. And so, and the other thing is, if you are absolutely set on becoming an art student, that is your passion, your heart, and you really want to do that no matter what, then certainly you should go all in and pursue that. But if it's sort of like, well, I like art, and but I also love math, or, and you think you really need to do well on the SAT in case the art school thing doesn't work out, okay? Especially if you're thinking, I don't know if I want to go to an art school like RISD, or or Micah here, like in Baltimore or something. I want to I'm thinking of maybe just going to a 4-year college, just a regular college, and studying art history or studying art or something like that. Then that's a different thing. You don't necessarily have to have a portfolio. More is better. If you have a portfolio, even if it's not required, some colleges, they allow you to submit portfolios, not just of art, but of other things that you've done. And that's perfectly fine. You want to show as much as possible what you've done and what your passions are. But if you're not going to go to an art school, you still need to focus on SATs, and your GPA has to be the best it can be. So do your best, because you might change your mind, and especially if you're not going to apply to an art school, then of course most colleges will look at that. So anyway, I wanted to just share that for some of your art students out there, and I hope you found it helpful. But as always, if you're interested in becoming one of my students, the best thing is fill out the SAT Prep application form on my website, ckeducation.org. You could also go there and you'll read, I don't know how many exactly, 60 or 70 testimonials from real students. And so you can read what they said in their own words. So I encourage you to do that. And if you're interested in becoming one of my students, fill out the SAT Prep application form. And in the comment section, please write why you think you would be a great fit as one of my students, all right? And I will look at every application, I will consider every application, and I will get back to you personally, okay? So until my next video, stay well, and I'll see you later.